So you must always have your mind thinking forwardly. That's why the scripture's saying what it's saying. Read it again, Captain.
Where there is no vision,
if you don't have the vision to think beyond where you are,
the people perish.
You will perish. You understand? So we must continue to move forward.
This is IYC Radio Show, and this is the program we get on to discuss various issues from the Bible, issues that affect us, issues that we get on to discuss each and every day, controversial issues that are all answered right here. And remember, IYC is a non-profit organization that teaches about repentance from sin by waking up all people who are scattered around the world and give them their true identity of being Israelites. Today's topic. Today, we're going to be discussing about the black pharaohs who lived once in the lands of Sudan. Okay, some of you don't even know that there were the black pharaohs who were in Sudan. There are so many pyramids in Sudan right now. So I'm talking there are 300 pyramids in Sudan which are standing right now. And today we're going to be talking about the kingdom of Cush. And today I'm joined by Deacon Isaac. Deacon, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Shalom, brothers, Most High in Christ, blessed to you, Watson, brothers and sisters of Malawi. Hope all is well. I hope all is well.
Deacon, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
I can hear. Yes, Crystal, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank God. Thank God. All praises to the Most High for another day. I'm glad to be here. Yes, sir.
Glad to have you back here on the hours. Today's topic, we're going to be discussing something beautiful. The kingdom of Cush.
Yes. The kingdom of Cush. That's a good discussion. I heard you made mention about black pharaohs, and yes, the pharaohs, the ancient Egyptian pharaohs are black.
Exactly.
And the modern day people that you see in Egypt today, those are not the original Egyptians. Okay. Let's start with Deuteronomy 32 and verse 8. And obviously, Yakub, I'm gonna send you something else to your telegram. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
So notice what the Most High did. The Most High created nations, and his plan was never to integrate or assimilate the nations. He separated the nations according to the bounds of who?
Of the children of Israel.
Why? Because the children of Israel has always been the Most High's, at the apple of the Most High's eyes. Okay, the Most High's main objective and agenda was the love and care of the Israelites, because the Israelites was made to serve the one true God. Read that scripture again in its entirety.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
So he set the bounds, meaning the lands, the bounds, according to the number of the children of Israel. And the children of Israel always had the best of land during this time. Okay, when we was in our right state of mind and when we came up out of Egypt. Now get me Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6. So it said, God created all nations and he set their bounds according to the number of the children of Israel. Why was that? Deuteronomy 7 verse 6, please.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Now notice what the Bible says. It says that God has chosen the children of Israel to be a special people unto him, not only special unto him, but above all people on the face of the earth. In order to be above all people on the face of the earth, you have to have what? An advantage over all the other nations. What is the advantages that we had over the other nations? Get me Romans chapter 9. Get me Romans chapter 9 and start at verse, I think it's verse 3.
Yes, sir. The book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 3.
Mhm.
For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
According to the flesh, meaning according to sex, who are the Israelites? Go ahead.
Who are Israelites,
Mhm.
to whom pertaineth the adoption.
So we had an advantage because Christ died on the cross and adopted us back to the new covenant. He only died for the nation of Israel. That was the first advantage. Go ahead.
And the glory.
The glory of the Bible, the glory of God only belongs to the Israelites. Second advantage. Go ahead.
And the covenants.
And the what?
And the covenants.
The covenants with an S. The old covenant and the new covenant only pertains to Israel. Read.
And the giving of the law.
And the giving of the law. God's laws was only given to the Israelites. These are all of the things that gave us an advantage, a prestige advantage over the other nations. Get me Romans chapter 3 and verse 1.
The book of Romans, chapter 3 and verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew?
Now, Paul turns around and said, what advantage, brothers and sisters of Malawi, doth hath the Jew? Because you are the Jews. Okay? God is asking you, what advantage do you have? Go ahead.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
Go ahead.
Much every way.
So there's much profit in circumcision. Go ahead.
Chiefly.
Mainly, come on.
Because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
Now, who's the them here that the oracles of God was committed to, brothers and sisters? The Israelites. The Israelites. God gave us an advantage over all nations when he made us a special people and above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The care of the Bible was given to the Israelites. And the Bible, the Israelites were supposed to use the instruction manual contained in the biblical text to govern this whole planet Earth. Go back to what you were holding in Deuteronomy again. Yes, Deuteronomy, I think he was in 32 first.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
According to the number of the children of Israel. And the Israelites always got the best. Now let's go to the book of Genesis. Since Watson posed a question about black pharaohs, and you also mentioned something about the pyramids. Let's go to the book of Genesis. Now, the book of Genesis, Watson, and brothers and sisters who are tuning in, is called the beginning. All right. In the Hebrew, it's called Bereshit. Okay. It means the beginning. The beginning of what? The beginning of nations. This is where nations were created. Okay. In the book of Genesis. One chapter in particular, we're going to read chapter 10. Okay. Genesis chapter 10. You can start at verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 10 and verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah. Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
And all three sons are black. All three sons are black. Although they share the same complexion, they are still fathers of what? Different nations. Every skin folk is not kinfolk. Let me repeat that again. Every skin folk is not kinfolk. Okay, Noah had three sons. They all were black, but they gave birth to different nations. Different nations came out of their wives. Okay, Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Go ahead.
And unto them were sons born after the flood.
And sons were born to them after the flood. Jump down, since we're on the topic of Cush. Okay, jump down to verse 6.
Verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan.
So the sons of Ham was Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan. Cush became the father of the Babylonians. Okay, also were the ancient Hamitic Ethiopians. Notice what I said, ancient Hamitic Ethiopians. I didn't say ancient Shemitic Ethiopians, because the seed of Shem is in Ethiopia as well. That's where you get the Phoenician Jews of today. That's where you get the Abyssinian, some of the Abyssinian Jews of today. But right here in verse 6, when it says, "And the sons of Ham, Cush," which is the ancient Babylonian Ethiopians, and Mizraim later became Egypt, which you know is Egypt today, comes from Mizraim, okay? And Put and Canaan. Read on.
And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havila, and Sabta, and Ramah, and Sebtuka, and the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan.
Read on.
And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
So give me the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary real quick. So we have to get the basic understanding that Noah had 3 sons. Noah had 3 sons. All his sons were black. But who do you and I come from? Who do the Israelites come from? We're going to show you. Read that, please.
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary definition of Ham. The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races.
The word progenitor there means father. He became the father of the dark races. The progenitor means father. But how could Ham become the father of the dark races if Shem was black and Japheth was black? This was just talking about a darker skin tone, a darker hue of other melanated black people. Okay, read on.
Not the Negroes.
Not the what?
Not the Negroes.
Notice what it's saying here, Watson and brothers and sisters of Malawi. It's saying that the Negroes did not descend from Ham. So who lied to you? Mzungu lied to you all these years. The white man has been teaching you that you descended from Ham. Cursed be Ham. Canaan shall be a servant of servants. And they say that's you. No, that's not what it's talking about. Ham is the ancient Nilotic Africans. Okay, the ancient Nilot, pure-blooded Nilotes. Okay, that's who Ham is the father of. So the scholars know that the Negroes do not descend from Ham. But who descends from Ham? Read.
But the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
You see this, Watson? But the Egyptians, that's Mizraim that we just read in the book of Genesis chapter 10. The Ethiopians is Cush, Libyans is Put, and Canaanites. Read that again now in Genesis chapter 10, please.
Yes, sir. The book of Genesis, chapter 10 and verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim.
Cush, Ethiopians, go ahead.
And Phut and Canaan.
And Phut was Libya and Canaan. Now jump to verse 8.
Verse 8. And Cush begat Nimrod.
Now we're going to read about one of the sons of Cush. His name was Nimrod. And I'm going to read this for a reason. Okay, we'll get to that reason soon. And Cush begat Nimrod. Go ahead.
He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
Both physically, mentally. Go ahead.
He was a mighty hunter before the Lord.
He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, both physically, and he was a hunter of souls. He was a hunter of souls. Go ahead.
Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord.
Go ahead.
And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel.
The beginning of this man's kingdom was Babel. That's where you get the word Babylonian from. The word Babel means confusion. Okay, go ahead.
And Erech.
And Erech,
And Akkad.
And Akkad, that's where you get the Akkadian dynasty. Go ahead.
And Calneh.
Come on.
And the land of Shinar.
Shinar was the capital of Babylon. Shinar was the capital of Babylon. Go ahead.
Out of that land went forth Ashur, and builded Nineveh, and the city Raboth and Calah.
And the city Raboth and Calah. Jump up to chapter 11.
Genesis chapter 11 and verse 1.
Yep. Now now Watson, pay attention. We are still talking about Cush which is the father of Nimrod. Okay, go ahead.
And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
So at this time, the earth was one language and one speech, one dialect. When it says one speech, there was no different pronunciations or so forth. Everybody had the same tongue and it was spoken the same way. Read.
And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar,
Mm-hmm.
and they dwelt there.
Come on.
And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar.
So they had brick for stone and slime they had for mortar. They had brick for stone and slime they had for mortar. Go ahead.
And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower,
Mm-hmm.
whose top may reach unto heaven,
Come on.
and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth.
Keep reading.
And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower,
Mm-hmm.
which the children of men builded.
So the Lord came down in the chariots of God. Also, what the world identifies as UFOs. The Most High came down to look at the city. Go ahead.
And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language.
Mm-hmm.
And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do.
Jump back up to verse 3.
Verse 3. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar.
Jump up to verse 2. So what were they doing with the bricks and the slime for mortar? They were building a city in Shinar. Read verse 2.
Verse 2. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar,
Mm-hmm.
and they dwelt there.
And they dwelt in Shinar. Now, if you look at this illustration, Watson, okay, what do you have here? This is it's called a ziggurat or ziggurat. I might be pronouncing that wrong. But this is what was builded in Shinar to reach unto the heavens. This is the idea that they had. They had a democratic, key word, they had a democratic ideology that all must become one. Okay, and the Most High was displeased with that because the Most High was never about assimilation nor integration. The Most High was displeased with that. So he came down, confounded their language and spread everybody abroad. Get me the next image. Give me the images that I sent you, Yaakov, the ziggurats. Okay, we're going to show you what the different archaeologists and scholars found in the land of Shinar today, Babylon, ancient Babylon. So we're dealing with Cush. Were these pyramids or were there something else? All right, the reason I'm going at this angle, I want to show you something. Because the pyramids were the pyramids that you see today, okay, was not built by Cush. Okay, we're going to show you who built some of those pyramids. Okay, but I want to preface it to show you with what Cush actually built themselves. So what you see here on the screen are called ziggurats. Okay, start at where it says the first book.
Yes, sir. The first book of the Bible, Genesis, relates how human beings at a time when the whole earth was of one language, purposed to build just such a tower with its top in the heavens. Before the construction was completed, however, God intervened, sowing confusion among mankind. At a stroke, people began to babble in different languages. In Hebrew, the verb bala means to confuse, and hence the tower is called Babel. Scholars believe that the word may also be derived from the Akkadian root of the name Babylon, Babi, gate of the god.
Come on.
The ziggurats of Mesopotamia were built of mud, brick, and mortar.
So hold up, wait. The ziggurats of Mesopotamia were built of what? Built of mud, brick, and mortar made of bitumen. Read that scripture again. Genesis 11 and verse 3.
11 and verse 3. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar.
So the ziggurats of Mesopotamia were built of mud, brick, and mortar made of bitumen. The biblical description echoes this process closely. And they said to one another, come, let us make bricks and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone and bitumen for mortar. Okay, so what are we reading? We're reading about the first archaeological build of the ancient Cushites, which was made to not only for idolatry, to worship their gods, but to defy the one true God of heaven. Okay, under the guise of coming all together, which God was totally disapproved of. Okay, on the second page, start reading right here where it says this. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor. Where it says this, there we go. Right.
Yes, sir. This, the Bible tells us, occurred in the land of Shinar, a term elsewhere used to denote Babylon. The remains of the ziggurat at Babylon are less impressive than those at Ur.
So you had Ur of the Chaldees. Go ahead.
Because the baked bricks used for the Babylon tower have long been removed for use elsewhere. The site today is little more than a water and reed filled hole in the ground.
Go back to the previous page. There's another page that goes with this. Okay, let's read the ziggurats of Summer.
Yes, sir. The ziggurats of Summer. Most of the leading cities of southern Mesopotamia built such step towers. The Babylonian and Assyrian word for them was zigguratu, temple tower.
So these temple towers were made to worship other gods. Okay, go ahead.
From which we get the term ziggurat. The one at Ur was constructed by Ur-Nammu, king of Ur from 2112 to 2095 BCE.
Read on.
80 feet tall.
80 feet tall, Watson. 80 feet tall. Come on.
The ziggurat was built on 3 levels, each accessible via stairways, and topped by a shrine dedicated to
Nana, the moon god. Nana, the moon god. Go to the next page so they see it, so don't think I'm making this up. Go to that previous page you was at. Nope, the previous page you was at. Not this. Thank you. Right there. The moon god, okay, was dedicated to the moon god Nana. The moon god Nana, okay? And it says the ziggurat was created inside an elaborate enclosure that included temple facilities, a treasury, and residences for the priestly caste. Who were these priestly caste worshiping? They were worshiping other gods. That's what God was displeased with them. So this was the first archaeological build of ancient Kush. Ancient Kush, okay? The ancient Babylonian, Watson, okay? Now, let's move on up. Move to the book of Exodus, please. Now, let's deal with Exodus chapter 1. Okay, and I want you to start at verse 8. No, verse 6. Verse 6. So what's going on in the book of Exodus right now? Watson, when you read about the books of Exodus, it was the exodus or the exiting of the children of Israel from the land of Egypt as slaves, and they were going to the land of Canaan that God promised our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, let's read about it. Come on.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 6. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation.
So Joseph was second to Pharaoh in Egypt. Joseph became so powerful in Egypt that the Egyptian pharaohs at that time and people had compassion on the children of Israel because of Joseph's fame. Okay, read on. But now he died. He died. Many generations passed, and this is what happened. Read.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them.
And the children of Israel had sex and more sex, and increased abundantly in the land, Watson. Read on.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt.
So this new king was a new kingdom. This new king was a new kingdom. Okay, many generations after Joseph's passing. Okay, this new king was a new kingdom. Go ahead.
Which knew not Joseph.
Which knew not Joseph. Go ahead.
And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
So when he said in verse 9, when it says, and he said unto his people, who's the his people here, Watson, that the Pharaoh was speaking to? Who's the his people?
Pardon? Can you?
Who's the his people that the Pharaoh was speaking to? It says, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Who's the his people that Pharaoh was talking to here?
I guess the Egyptians.
The Egyptians, very good. The Egyptians who were not Israelites. Okay, although they looked the same. Although they looked the same, they were not Israelites. Go ahead.
Verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
So notice what verse 10 says. It's come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. So when it says, come, let us deal wisely with them, what was the wise counsel? What was the wise secret plot that they instituted to deal with the children of Israel? Read verse 11.
Verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters.
Taskmasters, overseers, rough overseers, taskmasters. Go ahead.
To afflict them with their burdens.
To afflict us with their burdens, hard work. Go ahead.
And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities.
Hold on, wait, stop. And they what?
And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities. Pithom and Ramses.
Officer Yakub, can you please, I didn't send it to you, but can you please pull it up? If you need me to look for it, I'll find it. Look up treasured cities, Pithom and Ramses. See what comes up. Or you can type in Valley of the Kings. So what I want in this verse right here, Watson, it says, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. Who's the they that built the treasured cities? That was forced to build these treasured cities, I should say.
The Israelites.
Very good. The Israelites were the one in charge of the architecture building. Okay, they were the ones that were in charge of resurrecting these different structures. Okay, this is just one. Is there any more? Is this the only thing that pops up? It's all pixelated. Let's get some more. Let's get some more. Let's get some of the insides. I want to show you the greatness of our people. Okay. Okay, that's inside. Go to another one. I seen one with the faces of go down. Look at, okay, right there. Oh, no, go back up. You're scrolling too fast. So these, look at that right there. Okay, these are things that we built as Israelites. Okay, look at the columns, the different structures and so forth. This was not done overnight. Okay, this took many years to build, a lot of hard work, sweat, blood, and tears. Go to the next image. I seen one, just exit out, go down, I'll direct you, go down, over to your far right, right there. Look at this. This is the outside of some of the pyramids in the valleys of kings. Look at that. Okay, read the scripture again.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses.
Read on.
But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
So the more they gave us hell, Watson, The more hell we caught, the more we reproduced. The more we went home, laid down, and had sex and produced more children. Okay, same thing we do today. All right, they're trying to destroy us, but we multiplying by the millions. And they're like, how the hell can we get rid of these people? That's why they're instituting different methods of birth control. The most latest form of birth control is what? LGBTQ. 2 men can't have babies, 2 women can have. That's why they're trying to push that nonsense on Africa, mainly the Bantu speaking countries. They're trying to push that LGBTQ madness over there in Africa. To what? To reduce the population control. Just another method. Okay, read.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
Come on.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
Read on.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage.
Come on.
In mortar.
Hold up. In mortar. In mortar and in what?
And in brick.
And in brick. In mortar and in brick. Remember, we read these same words in Genesis chapter 11 when it came to the ancient Cushites building their ziggurats. Okay, now we're reading it here in the book of Exodus when it pertaineth to the Israelites working hard. They used mortar and brick to build what? Treasured cities of Pithom and Ramses, where you find the Valley of Kings, where you find pyramids all over the place. Okay, so who built these pyramids? The Israelites. We are the ones that built the pyramids. Okay, read on.
And in all manner of service in the field.
Come on.
All their service, wherein they made them serve, was with rigor.
All the service they made them serve was with rigor. Give me the picture. Give me the next illustration that I sent you, please. Please, give me the next illustration. Right here. Who do we see here? Black Israelites, okay, in slavery. What are they doing? Working hard, rigorous work with brick and mortar. Look at the hair. And don't let the ones at the bottom, with the light yellow hair deceive you, okay? Because you had, remember, all colors come out of black people. We are the progenitor of all nations. So get me that real quick, because somebody might be saying, oh, that is a Mzungu because they got blonde hair. No, they have brown skin. So where did the yellow hair come from? Get me Leviticus 13 and verse 33, 32.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We all colors come out of the nation of Israel. Remember Esau, the so-called white man, came out of a black mother and black father. Okay. Read that, Leviticus 13, please.
Yes, sir. The book of Leviticus, chapter 13 and verse 30.
Read.
Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair.
A what?
A yellow thin hair.
Go ahead.
Then the priest shall pronounce him unclean.
Read.
It is a dry scald,
Uh-huh.
even a leprosy upon the head or beard.
So it's a leprosy upon the head or beard. God called that leprosy when it was in patches, but in its entirety, you had something called a clean leper, whether it was skin or hair. Okay, when somebody was totally a leper, they will call a clean leper. But when it was in patches, it was called unclean. Okay, go back to where are you now? Where did you just leave off at?
Yes, sir. We were in Exodus chapter 1.
Okay, so we made the point how the Israelites used that same brick and mortar that you read about in Genesis chapter 11 with the ancient Cushites. Okay, so how do we know that outside of the book of Exodus, what other proofs do we have that the Israelites, we built the pyramids? Get me First Maccabees. First Maccabees 13 and verse 28. And you could start at verse 25.
Yes, sir. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 13 and verse 25.
So these are Israelites that we're about to read about, Watson. Israelites. In the book of Maccabees, it's our people fighting against the Greeks, okay? The white people. Okay, read.
then sent Simon and took the bones of Jonathan his brother and buried them in Modin, the city of his fathers.
Come on.
And all Israel made great lamentation for him and bewailed him many days.
Come on.
Simon also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren.
Stop. It said Simon also built a monument, Watson. Simon also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren. Remember back in Egypt, when the pharaohs had us built the pyramids, a lot of their bodies, a lot of the bodies of the pharaohs are found inside of the pyramids. Why? Because it was a monument for them. Okay, when it came to the afterlife or a place of burial, they would be buried along with the Israelites. They would be buried with their slaves, because the ideology was that in the afterlife, the pharaohs would have their slaves still with them in the next life. So the same way how you have cemeteries, like I'm not sure if they have mausoleums in Malawi, something called a mausoleum. When you go to the cemetery, it's like it looks like a little building or something, like a little house. And they open it and they put the casket in there. There's no difference from the pyramids. The pyramids were monuments that were built to house the bodies of the pharaohs and their slaves. So this same Simon, what did he do? What did he build? Read it.
Simon also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren, and raised it aloft to the site, with hewn stone behind and before.
So they always say, oh, how did they build this? Surely it must have been aliens. They don't want to give credit to Black people. They don't want to give credit to the Israelites. They say, oh, aliens built the pyramids. No, we built the pyramids. Okay, and it says with hewn stone behind and before. Before we proceed, get me Baruch chapter 3, verse 36. Because where did we get this knowledge from? Where did we get this knowledge from? They want to talk about the aliens built, make it seem like it's some extraterrestrial powers that built the pyramids. No. However, we did get that knowledge from them because God is an extraterrestrial. He gave us that knowledge. And he's going to show it to you right here. Baruch chapter 3, verse 36. Isn't that it?
Yes, sir. The book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 36. He has found out all the way of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved.
So not only the Bible, because the Bible is the primary knowledge that God gave us, but you have science, math, language arts, social studies, all these different areas of discipline. We were the masters at it. That's why God said you shall be a special people above all people. Okay? In modern day society, you give us a fair shake and you don't put obstacles in our way. Guess what? We'll outrun everybody. We will outrun everybody. And I'm not talking about a physical run. I'm talking about mentally in all areas of discipline. God said he found all the ways of knowledge and gave it unto the children of Israel. That's how we knew how to build those pyramids. Okay, go back to First Maccabees, because Simon is letting you know, he's giving you a guide onto how he was able to build these pyramids. How did he set up the stones? Read verse 27 again.
Yes, sir. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 13 and verse 27. Also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren, and raised it aloft to the site, with hewn stone behind and before.
So that was the instructional guide. That was the instructions. Take the stone, hewn stone behind and before. That's how he was able to build the pyramids. Read on.
Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father and his mother and his 4 brethren.
Come on.
And in these he made cunning devices.
Stop. And in these he made cunning devices inside of these pyramids. Are you familiar with a show called Indiana Jones? Have you ever heard of a show called Indiana Jones?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so in a lot of these movies that Mzungu put out, whenever they deal with pyramids, they always show like different trap doors. Oh, if you step on this, something's gonna pop out of the wall. Those are all cunning devices that our forefathers had, okay, around these pyramids. Read it again.
And in these he made cunning devices,
Come on.
about the which he set great pillars.
So he had great pillars. We just showed you some of those pillars, Watson, in the illustrations we just showed you in the Valley of Kings. Okay, we showed you great pillars. Great pillars. Go ahead.
And upon the pillars he made all their armor for a perpetual memory.
Come on.
And by the armor ships carved, that they might be seen of all that sail on the sea.
This is some beautiful stuff right here. That they might, these pyramids were so big that on the sea, on the way to the land, you could see it. Okay, from the sea. These are things that our forefathers built. Why? Because all the ways of knowledge was given unto the children of Israel. Now, get me Isaiah 11 and 11, please.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 11.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush.
Now notice what it says, Pathros and Cush. Pathros and Cush. Remember, there was in Egypt first, and then you have Pathros and Cush. Pathros and Cush. Now, Egypt, Pathros, and Cush, these three nations are somewhat interchangeable. When I mean interchangeable, I'm talking about their nomadic experiences. They were always traveling from one place to another. God pushed out the original Egyptians, and where did they dwell? They dwelt in Lower Egypt, where you call Pathros, Sudan, where you call the Sudan of today. The Sudan of today. But who else is there? The Israelites are in Sudan. That's what we're reading about right now. Read it again. Isaiah 11 and 11, please. Come on.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt.
Come on.
And from Pathros.
Sudan,
and,
go ahead.
And from Cush. And from Elam. And from Shinar.
Come on.
And from Hamath. And from the islands of the sea.
And from the islands of the sea. So the ancient Egyptians was pushed out of Egypt. Hundreds and thousands of years later, you had the Islam, the Islam or Arabic takeover of Egypt. Okay, you had the Mamluk dynasty, and then shortly before that, I believe you had what's called the Ottoman Turks, the Ottoman Empire takeover. Okay, so the people that you see in Egypt today, Watson, those are not the biblical Egyptians. Okay, and even prior to that, you had Ptolemy. You had the Ptolemaic dynasty, which was a white man who took over Egypt, who was trying to rule over Egypt. Now, you made mention about the pyramids. After we left Egypt, there was no more pyramids being built because the Israelites are the ones that built those pyramids. But when we migrated deeper south into Africa and we ended up in places like Sudan, guess what we left there? We built some of those pyramids as well, too. Let's get that. Let's pull that up. Let's pull that up. Come on. Thank you. All right, let's read this.
Yes, sir. Nubian pyramids were built by the rulers of the ancient Kushite kingdoms. The area of the Nile Valley known as Nubia, which lies within the north of present-day Sudan, was the site of 3 Kushite kingdoms during antiquity.
So let's look at this right here. Let's examine some of this. Scroll down. Okay, what you see here? Pyramids. Oh, wait, let's show some of the pictures. Go down. Different reigns. Look at this right here. Look at that. Beautiful. Pyramids in Sudan. So how come the Arabs are not building pyramids today? How come they're not resurrecting or establishing new pyramids today in Egypt? Because they weren't the ones who built the former ones of antiquity. Okay, go down. This is all you see throughout Nubia. Okay, go down. Is there more? Look at this. Beautiful. Okay. Look at this. Beautiful stuff right here. Okay. Now go to the next article, the one in Mesoamerica. Now you got to ask yourself, because somebody might say, well, how do we know it's not the ancient Babylonians that built that? Because we already showed you that the ancient Babylonians, they built something called the ziggurats. We are the ones that built pyramids in Egypt. We built the pyramids in Sudan, and also the 10 lost tribes of Israel, who are our brothers. Guess what they built on this side of the America? The same pyramids you find in Egypt and Sudan, you can find pyramids over here on this side of the world. How did pyramids get to Brazil, Peru, Mexico? Because guess what? The 10 lost tribes, which are the northern kingdom of Israel, came over on this side. Let's read this. Read this right here.
Yes, sir. Mesoamerican pyramids form a prominent part of ancient Mesoamerican architecture. Although similar in some ways to Egyptian pyramids, these New World structures have flat tops, many with temples on the top.
So the reason they have flat tops on the top was because this is where the northern their daily and weekly sacrifices. The pyramids and Sudan, we were not standing on top of those pyramids, okay? But this one right here was meant to stand on top of them to what? To idol worship and sacrifice. Read on.
And stairs ascending their faces.
So you could walk up and down. They made stairs on them. Go ahead.
The largest pyramid in the world by volume is the Great Pyramid of Cholula.
You hear this, Watson? The largest pyramid in the world by volume is the Great Pyramid of Cholula. And where can you find Cholula? Read.
In the east central Mexican state of Puebla.
You hear that? In Mexico. In Mexico, opposite, away from Africa, in Mexico. Go ahead.
The builders of certain classic Mesoamerican pyramids have decorated them copiously with stories about the hero twins. The feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, Quetzalcoatl. That's supposed to be Christ. Go ahead.
Mesoamerican creation myths.
Go ahead.
Ritualistic sacrifice.
You hear that? The ritualistic sacrifice, Watson. That's why they had flat tops, so they could stand on top of these pyramids and sacrifice. Go ahead.
Written in the form of Maya script on the rises of the steps of the pyramids.
Written on the form of Maya script. Written on the what?
Written in the form of Maya script on the rises of the steps of the pyramids, on the walls, and on the sculptures contained within.
Okay, read the next, scroll down. We'll go to Aztec pyramids. Read that, please.
Sure. The Aztecs dominated central Mexico in the 14th, 15th, and 16th centuries. Their capital was Tenochtitlan on the shore of the lake Texcoco, the site of modern-day Mexico City. They were related to the preceding cultures in the basin of Mexico, such as the culture of Teotihuacan, whose building style they adopted and adapted.
Go down to Maya pyramids. So you have the Aztec pyramids. Now you have the Maya pyramids, Watson. We're reading about pyramids in the Americas. Built by who? The children of Israel. Go ahead.
The Maya are a people of southern Mexico and northern Central America, Guatemala, Belize, Western Honduras, and El Salvador. Archaeological evidence shows that by the pre-classic Maya, 1000 BC, approximately 3,000 years ago, they were building Pira de Plaza ceremonial architecture.
So the ceremonial architecture was made for what? Sacrificing. And what were we sacrificing? Because we weren't in our right minds. We were sacrificing flesh. We were sacrificing humans. That's what we were doing on this side of the world. Okay, get me Hosea 8, verse 13. Hosea chapter 8, verse 13. Then I want 2 Ezra chapter 13 and verse 40, around the 40s. Okay, to show how our brothers came over to this side. Okay, so brothers and sisters of Malawi, who built those pyramids? The Israelites built those pyramids. Okay, we were the ones who built the pyramids. Okay, come on, Hosea chapter 8, verse 13.
The book of Hosea, chapter 8 and verse 13. They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of mine offerings.
So that's what they were doing, Watson. That's what they were doing on top of these flat top pyramids. They were sacrificing flesh. You see that in the movies, okay, when it pertained to Mesoamerica, when it pertains to the Aztecs, the Mayans, and so forth, and the Incas. You see that in the movies. You even see that in many archaeological books, okay? They went off from the righteous offering and they started to sacrifice flesh, okay? Go ahead. It says they sacrifice flesh for the sacrifice of my offerings. Come on.
And eat it.
And they would eat the heart of humans. They would eat the heart of the people that they conquered, okay? They would eat the heart of the people that they sacrificed. Go ahead.
But the Lord accepteth them not.
The Most High God was not with them. The Most High God is not with cannibalism. Go ahead.
Now will he remember their iniquity and visit their sins. They shall return to Egypt.
They shall return to slavery, because shortly after that, who came to the Americas and conquered the native Indians? The conquistadors, the so-called white man, Ponce de Leon and his people, Hernan Cortez and his people. Okay, but the point of that is to show you that these are the Israelites who built these pyramids. So where are the pyramids? Now you should ask yourself something, Watson. Where are the pyramids right now being built in Egypt by the Arabs? None. Where are the pyramids in Poland, Russia, where the so-called Jews come from? Why aren't there any pyramids over there? Because those are not the Israelites. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 13. I'm still waiting for a pyramid in Hungary and Poland and Czechoslovakia and Germany. Where are the pyramids that the Israelites built? If they are the Israelites, surely they shall build again. Nope. You're going to hear crickets. You're not going to hear anything. You're not going to see anything, because those are not the Israelites. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 13. You know what I want.
Yes, sir. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 40.
Come on.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king.
Come on.
Whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive.
Come on.
And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
Come on.
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Where is the further country that the 10 tribes of Israel would take it upon themselves to go, where never mankind dwelt? The Americas, also known as Osiris. Okay, read.
That they might there keep their statues, which they never kept in their own land.
Read. You're going to read down to 45. Come on.
Yes, sir. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years.
So how long did it take the 10 lost tribes to get over from the eastern hemisphere to the west via boat? 1.5 years. It took them to get to the Americas. Okay, that's why you see pyramids all the way from Brazil to Mexico. Those are the Israelites. God has given you the geographical navigation route, and he's also given you the time that it took for us to get here. It says, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely 1.5 years. Read on.
And the same region is called Osiris.
The same region is called what?
Osiris.
It's called Osiris. God called this place Osiris. That's what he called it. Okay. So who built the pyramids, brothers and sisters? The Israelites. All right. You can visit us at www.israelunite.org. That's www.israelunite.org. We also have a IUIC Facebook page at IUIC Malawi. That's IUIC Malawi. You can also email us at iuic.malawi@israelunite.org. That's iuic.malawi@israelunite.org.
All right, Deacon, maybe before you leave, I had a question. Maybe someone out there would be asking the very same question to say, why is that all this history about the Black Pharaohs being hidden right now in the history books in Africa?
Well, The reason being is the so-called white man, you call him as Mzungu, the Bible refers to him as Esau. His job is to keep our people asleep. Not only our people, as in the nation of Israel and our greatness, but all greatness of dark nations. Okay? The Hamitic people, the ancient Nilotic people of Africa built many great things as well too, but you don't really read about their history. Okay? So it's a war on all melanated people, but the most extreme war is on the children of Israel. That's why our history is hidden from us. So you have to read these books. You have to do your diligent research. What you're going to find out is our people are very cavalier about the Bible. Our people are very cavalier about the history of their forefathers. Okay, we have to do this research and find out who we are. Give me Job 8:8, last scripture, to help answer that question. Job 8:8.
The book of Job.
So we have to show more of an interest into our history of who we are, into the history of our forefathers, the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Watch this. Listen to this.
The book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
We have to prepare ourselves to the search of our fathers. Mzungu's not just going to come knock on your door and say, hey, you are the Israelites. Hey, you built this. Hey, you did that. No, their job is to keep sub-Saharan Africa at an all-time low. Not just in resources, but in education, in all aspects of education. So we have to do our due diligence and prepare our hearts and minds for the search of our forefathers. And the first primary source for this search is the Bible. This is the primary source right here. This is what you should be researching and inquiring of, okay? This is world history. You want to read about world history? You want to find the bestseller of all time for world history? You have it right here. It's called the Bible. Okay, this is our book. This is the Bible, our records. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. I wish we had so much time, but okay, time has just rushed out. I had this more question about the Nimrods. But
the who?
The Nimrod. You said about the Kush.
Oh, Nimrod.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll answer your question. Go ahead. Ask it. Unless you have to go, but I'll answer it.
Okay, who was he? Was it the kingdom? Like, was it
Nimrod? Nimrod was a human being. Nimrod was a man like you and I. He was a great hunter in the earth. Let's read it again. Let's go to Genesis chapter 10. Nimrod was the son of Cush. He was like a king. He was like a king. Okay. Go down to verse 8. Genesis 10, verse 8.
The book of Genesis, chapter 10 and verse 8. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Kelna, in the land of Shinar.
So he built kingdoms. This made him a king. Okay, he was a mighty man in the earth. Okay, but he wasn't our people. He wasn't from us. He was Hamitic. He was from the son of Cush. He was from the line of Cush. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Hoping to have you again live here. Same time, same place. Thursday next week.
Yes, sir. Lord willing, life lasts. We'll be here again next week. Brothers and sisters of Malawi, we say shalom to you all. Most High in Christ bless. Shalom.
The scriptures say, where there is no vision, the people perish.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right. I said on IUIC TV.
Do you know history?
I'm going to show you and prove to you that the Israelites are black, were always black.
Dance floor time, just move up your body. Don't get loose and groove on the body. Bruise, wine.
Put on the armor, the procedure complete. Me not go back, nah retreat. All traitors, every Jezebel must get delete. Me no sleep on a demon, me keep a full clip. Conspire me downfall, cause them want see me slip. Stay close to the real ones, we seal off and legit. Cause I gotta use them to keep your soul from the pit. This a war life, I swear the damn thing.
What is the nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family.